Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another book review. Recently I finished the last Artemis Fowl book, and I do admit I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was chock full of action, adventure, and a very complex timeline that dealt with time travel. I won't say who is exactly involved with that, but if you've read the series up to this point, I gave a teensy little itsy bitsy insignificant minuscule spoiler. Um, I thought this was the best book of the entire series, but it left open a whole entire chapter to be written in the future, I would think, for Artemis Fowl. At least that's what I felt. The ending was a little bit sad, but it was bittersweet. It was actually it was actually very uplifting, I felt. Um, I happen to give the book 4 stars out of 5 and 2 thumbs way up. I really think that the author of the series did a splendid job wrapping all the loose ends up, and the only thing that wasn't answered for me was the future. Of course, I think that's left to the reader and what their imaginations put together. And of course, uh, you're right there with your favorite characters in this battle of good versus evil, and it has a theme that I thought was very interesting. After everything that has happened, you have this future um, that is devoid of technology. They basically start their own lives all over again with new sources of energy, new sources of communication. Um, Everything is renewed. It's almost the same idea of new heavens and a new earth. If you read Revelation, that scripture comes to mind when I read this. I thought, maybe that's what the author was going for, and I think that resonates with them. He's got the same humor as usual, the sort of snarkiness that Artemis conveys, and you gotta love him for it, because at one point in time he was a thief, and he kind of comes across to me as an Irish version of Arsène Lupin III, much younger version, of course, a teenage version. Um, I don't know if the author read the stories by I can't think of his name is Maurice LeBlanc, I think. I can't remember the name of the yeah, here I am supposed to know all my literature. Yeah, I know that the character was inspired by French author literature. Um, and I think that this author was also inspired by Arsène himself, and I just thought that was an interesting parallel. But unlike that, you have this world in which you have the realm of the fairies, and then you've got all the supernatural stuff that's happening. It's kind of similar to Fablehaven. If you've read Fablehaven, it's like Fablehaven, but it's darker, and you've got elements of Harry Potter mixed in amongst the pages of this book, and it just is different. It stands out on its own, and like I said, I was really pleased with the last part of the book, and last part of the series. But it just leads the reader to do all of the tying up of whatever loose ends they thought were still unresolved, which in the very end it just leaves it open for interpretation, I think. And I loved it. It was a very quick read for me. I would have gotten through with it in a day had I not been going to work and doing my school work and making sure everything was copacetic at home with my dad's return. And this, that, and the other, etc., etc., etc. So all that is handled. I highly recommend it for people who are fans of the Artemis Fowl series. I think it is a rather appropriate ending, and it leaves just a world of possibilities for Artemis, I think, and all the other characters. Um, I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a rollicking adventure like all the other Artemis books, and if you know anything about mythology, particularly Celtic myth and legend, that'll resonate, and it just permeates everything in the book, I think, and it makes it all that much more intriguing and mysterious, and just has this sense of mysticism about it that just is so alluring, and that's why I like the Artemis series so much. And I like this book the best of all. Usually I do like the first book of the series and then the final book of the series when everything's wrapped up. I have yet to read the next of the Red Pyramid books, which would be The Serpent's Shadow, Kane Chronicles, which I absolutely adore. Again, Rick Riordan, another one of my heroes, just like this particular author. All these children's authors are some of my inspirations when I write myself, so I find great great sources of writing material when I'm leafing through these books, and just I'm so transfixed by everything that's coming to pass. And even though they're written for youngsters, I think that they have a broad appeal, and books like this are often times better than the adult equivalent thereof, which I found many times over, and I don't really mind if people see me reading a children's book. I don't think that's a bad thing. It keeps me young at heart, and I'm pretty much a big kid, so the series comes to a close, and yeah, I'm kind of sad to see it go, but I have other things occupying my life that will keep me happy. So it's kind of with a heavy heart that there will be no more Artemis Fowl books, but there are other books in the near future. The Rick Riordan's saga. Uh, I'm thinking he'll finish, like I said before, the next book, the Lost Heroes of Olympus, which is absolutely fantastic, and then Serpent's Shadow is just as good or even better. And Brandon Mull wrote the Fablehaven series, and I will be reading The Beyonders. That's 3 books, and I've got the the first book in physical form, and then I have the second book in digital form. And the third book's coming out fairly soon, and I think they have it offered on Nook, but I'll probably purchase it because I don't know what it is. I guess I'm really old school, because I like the smell and texture and feel of an actual physical book in my hands, and just how the pages sound as they go through my fingers. You can't replicate that with an electronic book. It just doesn't work. There's something deep about the printed word, um, even in electronic format. The words are powerful, and words have meaning, and there is a lot to be said about the power of the written word, and I think that there will be books even when I'm 100 years old, and I'm sure that the book is not going to fade in popularity by any means. Sure, there may be fewer books, but there will be books nonetheless. And for those out there who seek knowledge, or just the entertainment of these series that are out there, just waiting to be picked up and um, to be devoured. Um, it's like a feast for me, and I absolutely savor every morsel that I dine upon. I guess you could call me um, a bookworm, an incarnate bookworm. And that's basically all I have to say about the final Artemis Fowl book, and hopefully I will be seeing you again this weekend as I watch more films and read more books in the near future. So until then, catch you later.